From 1824 to 1882, the Gotthard Pass used to be the territory of the Gotthard mail coach, pulled by 5 horses. It connected Andermatt in Canton Uri with Erolo in Canton Ticino. The mail coach still makes a regular appearance on the Gotthard. A coach trip over the Via Tremola is an experience not to be missed. To control Bellinzona in Ticino meant control of all access to the most important passes in the region, the San Bernardino and Gotthard. No less than 3 fortresses were erected to defend this strategic spot: the Castel Grande, the Castello di Sasso, and high up the mountain, Castello di Montebello. Control of the mountain routes meant income and power. In the Versasca Valley, some 30 kilometers from Locarno, one finds this 220-meter tall dam feeding the power station at its base. Further upstream in the valley is Lavertezzo, a traditional town dominated by its church Santa Maria degli Angeli. Here, the Versasca is spanned by a medieval stone arch bridge. On a beautiful summer day, one can bask in the sun on rocks eroded smooth by water, or take a refreshing dip into the water. Ascona, on the shores of Lago Maggiore, once made a living from trade and fishing. These days, the village is committed to tourism. Another place on Lago Maggiore is Locarno. This town is a terminus for the Ferrovia Locarno-Domodossola, or Centovalli Railway for short. The Cento Valley owes its name to the hundreds of small side valleys. The train offers the best opportunity to experience the beauty of this region. No less than 18 bridges, 28 tunnels, and many ravines make this journey a special one indeed. The Italian name of Lake Lugano is Lago Ceresio. It's a place to relax from everyday life in a Mediterranean atmosphere. Opportunities abound for sailing or a stroll on Lugano's long and stately boulevard. The unique location and mild climate provide an air of enchantment. From Copolago, a wreck railway leads to the top of Monte Generoso, the tallest mountain at Lake Lugano. A very pleasant 45-minute ride leads to Generoso Vetta. On clear days, the view reaches from Lake Lugano deep into Italy, beyond Milan. The Rhine Gorge between Reichenau and Ilanz evolved some 15,000 years ago following a huge mountain slide. The Vorderrhein was forced to carve a new course 15 kilometers long and up to 300 meters deep. In 1903, a railway was opened along the banks of the Vorderrhein through the Rhine Gorge. The river is ideal for canoeing and rafting. High above the Rhine Gorge, Lax offers perfect conditions for winter sports. The Julia Pass connects Tiefenkastel with Silvaplana in the Engadine region. This mountain pass is kept open all winter. One of the most famous health and winter resorts in the world is St.Moritz. Every winter, the White Turf event is organized on a frozen lake, St.Moritz. Spectacular to watch is the ski-juring. Naturally, the latest gossip is exchanged. A second event on the frozen lake is the annual polo tournament. A Swiss winter without curling is unthinkable. Little has changed over 60 years. Winter occasionally shows its grim side when trains have to be kept moving in adverse weather conditions, such as here on the Gotthard in the 1950s. Techniques may have improved, but the battle continues relentlessly. Here on the Bernina, winter shows its bright side. A funicular near Pontresina leads to Muiotos Mural. Here one can enjoy spectacular mountain vistas, or an equally spectacular toboggan run down the slope. Down in the valley, the famous Engadine Langlauf Marathon approaches the finish. In Pontresina, cows arrive by train, whilst others enjoy a walk in the sunshine or take care of their sheep. In the meantime, the Rätische Bahn takes us to Ardez with its typical Engadine houses. To date, the Vereine Tunnel is the longest narrow-gauge railway tunnel in the world. Opened in 1999, the 19-kilometer-long tunnel dramatically improved the connection between the Prättigau and eastern Engadine regions. With the tunnel in operation, there was no point in keeping the Fluela Pass open all winter. In snowy conditions, thousands of motorists prefer the car train as the more convenient alternative. Farmers are keen to harvest their cattle food supplies on time before winter falls. Müstair, close to the Italian border in the Münster Valley, is known for its St. Johann Monastery, dating from the early Middle Ages. In 1983, the monastery was awarded a place on UNESCO's World Heritage List, following the discovery of frescoes in 1952. These frescoes are unique specimens from a period between 800 and 1200 AD. The 42-kilometer-long Albula Pass connects the Albula Valley with the Engadine. The road is closed in the winter, in contrast to the roughly parallel and busier Julia Pass, which runs in a more southern location. In the winter, Breda is the starting point of the toboggan run to Bergün. The Rätische Bahn provides a unique service with a special toboggan train from Bergün back to Breda. The road is closed to traffic and turned into a toboggan trail 5 kilometers long. It follows the Albula rail line with its famous tunnels and viaducts. Bergün in the Albula Valley is a typical mountain village with a church tower from the 12th century and houses in Engadine style. As a part of the Rätische Bahn, the Albula line is famous for its viaducts and spiral tunnels. These spiral tunnels, or loop tunnels, allow the trains to gain altitude without having to climb a track too steep for normal working. Besides being a railway junction, Filisur is also known for the nearby Landwasser Viaduct. The Landwasser Viaduct stands 65 meters tall and is generally recognized as the most famous railway viaduct in Switzerland. Trains leaving the viaduct immediately enter a tunnel in a sheer vertical rock face. The tunnel ends shortly before Filisur station. The awesome mountain scenery lends a special flavor to playing golf. How about this for a golf pitch setting? The Romans called it Curia Retorum. The Swiss simply refer to it as Chur, capital of the Canton Graubünden and starting point of the Arosa Express. Like a tram, the train threads its way through the streets of Chur. Outside the city, the curvy track traces ravines and crosses bridges befitting the alpine grandeur. The trip is well worth the effort in winter too, for Arosa has a lot to offer in winter sports. The Swiss call it Hochnebel, a mist that blankets the valleys from which the mountain peaks protrude like islands in a sea of clouds. This is the Appenzell land on a beautiful autumn day. And, almost on cue, the Sentis appears in a curtain call. The Sentis is the tallest peak of the Alpstein range, one of the most intriguing in terms of geology. The first Sentis cable tram opened in 1935. Back then, its cabin had a capacity of 35. These days, up to 85 passengers are accommodated in a heated panorama cabin. To appreciate the colorful character of Appenzell,